Okay, so a little sit down here. All right. Okay, we're going to talk about that, and that with this stuff. Posh microphones. All right. So, time to up the quality, isn't it? Really, of the audio and the camera stuff. The audios, the audio and the visual. The audio visuals. Time to up the audio visuals. And then we'll go into why I've done what I've done and why I've bought what I've bought. So, let's start with the obvious thing here, the dead rat that I'm wearing on the front of me. This is a DJI microphone with the dead rat on top of it to cut out the wind. I bought this is new. I mean, it's not new, it's 10 months old. This one isn't 10 months old, the product's 10 months old, but this one's new to me, and it's a DJI Mic. This is the battery case. In the battery case, you get a receiver, 2 transmitters, a lightning connector and a USB-C, plus a shoe connector to put it into your camera. The camera I'm using right now is a Canon EOS 5D Mark IV, I believe. And what's the lens? The lens is 24-105. There you go, f1.4, 77 millimeters. You can tell I haven't had it out for a while. Anyway, that's what you're looking through. So in the box, the case has batteries in it, which is smart. It comes with 2 transmitters. The transmitter has a microphone on top as well as a lav input as well, 3.5mm jack for the lav. They have 15 gig of local storage as well, so it means if I'm out flying I can just tap the record button. It doesn't have to be plugged into anything, but I can get the audio off of that and then put that over my videos later, which is pretty handy. You can hear my ramblings and mumblings as I fly along. I think they last for about 5 hours, the batteries on the transmitters and the receiver, and the case is good to charge them up 2 or 3 times. That's pretty handy as well. A neat idea. So, you get that in the box. And this is not an unboxing channel, so I'm not going to unbox it. I did film the unboxing last night, but it was so unbelievably boring. And if you wanted to watch unboxing, go and watch one of the other videos. There's millions of them on YouTube, and you know, do that thing. It's not what I'm all about. I have a GoPro adapter. More about that later. I have a USB-C to USB-A cable, and there's also a 3.5mm jack, which is plugged into the camera right now. So that's going from the receiver into the camera, and I think I've all plugged it in there. Anyway, if I haven't, there's no audio and I'll have to re-record it. So we'll worry about that when the time comes. But then again, if you're watching this with audio, you know it's plugged into the right thing. So that's good. Right, so the mic. You can have this as a lav mic as well. Shove this in your pocket, plug in a Rode lav mic or something, and have that nice little... I don't care if you guys can see this thing. This isn't the studio. This is just my back garden. Deal with it. Right. Next up, what should we go next? We'll go GoPro. So I have, from my days of learning to fly aircraft, I have this GoPro audio breakout, which I used to plug my comms in for the cans. You can use this on the GoPro. I have a GoPro 9, Hero 9 Black, which you need this for external audio. More about the finger later. Don't worry about the finger, it's fine. Stitched together, it's not leaking anymore, we're good. So this can plug into the GoPro. You can then plug the DJI Mic receiver into this via the headphone jack, the external mic jack, whatever it's called, the external mic jack, and get audio into the GoPro, so that's kind of handy. Now, I run a GoPro on the Nazgul. This is my Nazgul F5 V2. It's looking all pretty with a set of watermelon props on there and a big old BN 880 on the back. So I typically run the GoPro, and that's been great, but it is so heavy, it's crazy. And the whole idea behind this new build, which is the QAV-S Johnny FPV edition build, is to have it nice and lightweight. And with the GoPro on there, it was not lightweight. It was just a honking great big brick. So I thought I'd change it out for something else. And that brings us on to the next thing. Open the next thing. And the next thing is the DJI Action 2 camera. Tiny little thing. I also bought the magnetic protective case. There's a lower as well. I have the additional screen. So the idea behind these is they just clip together. You can power it on and do whatever you want to do, which is pretty fantastic. There we go, the screen's working now. So, why this? Well, it weighs 55 grams as opposed to the honking 189, 188, something like that the GoPro weighs. And it's tiny, and also you can get the DJI Care Refresh with this as well. So if I pop this out of its little magnetic holder, it will slide in here quite nicely into this little TPU mount, and then we have the Action 2 set up on the QAV. Now with all of these cameras, there's a right way and a wrong way of doing things, and I've typically found using the automatic settings on here is definitely the wrong way of doing things. If you're on a day like today where the sun's quite bright in the morning and then there's lots of shadows, you get this kind of light dark effect in your videos. It looks awful. So manual is the way to go. And if you're going manual, then of course you'll want to have the rule of 2 or the rule of 180 or the rule of double or whatever you want to call it, depending on who you are. And that is, I like to shoot in 60 frames a second, so I need 1/120th of a frame speed, a shutter speed on there. With the lowest ISO you can get. If you can get away with 100 ISO, do it. So in order to do that, on this, I go full manual. I set the shutter speed to 1/120th, doing 60 frames at 4K, and then I set the white balance according to cloudy day, 6,000 to 6,400 thereabouts, and off we go. I can't be bothered running D-Cinelike because quite frankly LUTs are a waste of my time. It comes out of here absolutely fine with the colour palette that's installed on here, with SD706 or whatever it is. I'm not interested, it just works. So I printed out this little box as well. This is pretty cool. TPU inner, PLA outer, and I have all my ND filters. These are Team Black Sheep ND filters, 4, 8, 16 and 32. And they will take the stops down, I don't know how many stops, 1, 4, 8, 16? I have no idea. But you don't really need to know how many stops it takes it down, because all you want to do is be able to run 100 ISO, or the lowest ISO possible for the least noise, 120th. If you're running 4K 60, you want 120th in terms of the frame, the capture speed, the shutter speed. There we are. And then obviously set the 4K 60. You'll be able to see what your exposure is. So if your exposure is like a plus 2 or thereabouts, so +2 on your EV value on here, and you're on ISO 100 and you're 120th of a second. Normally what the camera would do is then make the exposure time even shorter, so change that 120th up. It would go up, make the exposure time much shorter to gather less light. The alternative option, because we really want to keep that 1/120th, is to pop in a filter. So you're balancing the EV to get the EV as close to zero baseline as you can, using the filters to offset that without raising the ISO. So that's the idea behind that. And you end up with some really nice video without all of this kind of light dark. If you ever get that on your videos where it goes light and dark, and as you're doing flips and all sorts, that's your problem. So what else have we got? We've also got this, which is pretty cool. This is the telescopic extending DJI stick thing with the remote. And in all honesty, I only got this because it had the magnetic attachment on there, which actually no, it didn't. That comes with the camera. Why did I get this? I don't know. I guess it kind of matched everything else, so I got it, and it had a remote on it, so you can press the button here as opposed to having to reach all the way up here. Ultimately, it's for taking selfies. because I love looking at myself. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, not looking at me, I mean looking at yourself. You know, anyone would want to look at me, no one would want to look at me, it's disgusting. Right, so we've got all that. What else is in the case? You have seen the lower, the screen lower, this is interesting. So there's battery in here. I presume this runs on 1S, something like that. This must run on 2S because this can charge that. So it needs to have a higher voltage in this than that. But the idea is when you plug them together like that, this charges that and tops it up. There is no micro SD card on this. This is internal storage and internal battery only. On here you get a breakout, so you get a micro SD, you get a USB-C, and yeah, there's batteries in there to charge up. So this is like a breakout box for the screen, but it works, and it works well. I have seen people fly just with this magnetic catch on their drone, and I did print a mount out for that. And then I did some research and I saw how many people were crashing these things, and the camera goes flying off into the dim distance, never to be seen again. So I thought it'd be a good idea to print this mount out, better solution. Right, DJI Care Refresh. So you can get that on this camera, which is excellent. It means if I damage the screen or the camera or anything, I just pay a couple of quid and they send me out a nice new one, which is great. I do have the GoPro coverage as well, but it's just a nice thing to have on the DJI side of things, isn't it? Oh yeah, maybe not, that's the class. No, that comes with it as well. Anyway, you get this thing as well, which is a traditional sports action camera mount. Let's not fool anybody, that's a GoPro mount. And that is a DJI Action 2 magnet clasp on top. You've seen these lanyards around your neck, like so. Can look extra amazing. And then you can either get both of the units and stick them on there without the magnetic case, of course, or you can get just the camera and stick it on there, or you can pop this behind your clothes like that and then have that on the outside of your shirt and your camera and stuff. It does things. It's, you know, if you want a proper unboxing and review, like I said, go watch another video. This isn't the video for you. I'm talking about my choices and why I made them against all of this stuff. Why does everything get in such a mess with me? Right, let's have a bit of a tidy up. So, why? So running let's start with this, my little Copis. By the way, I snapped the top of this, so I had to 3D print a top frame, top part of the frame to keep it steady. Super thick PLA, and put some sides on it as well, because it was filling up with grass. Excellent. Anyway, this is running the Caddx Vista, so DJI AV, not AV, DJI visuals, no audio. That annoys me. I'll cover off why in a sec. But it works really well. That's running ELRS for the transmitter receiver, for the controls, and the DJI Goggles 2 is what I run for the video. The Nazgul running a DJI, that is heavy. That's running a DJI 03 for the visuals. I've got some Cherry Rush antennas on the back because the two that come with the iFlight kits are just awful. They're floppy, they're not robust, they break, they both snapped off, they're a nightmare. So I replaced the SMA R connectors, or whatever they are, for standard SMAs, and then I bought some Cherry Rush antennas and slapped them on there, and you get great range, probably better signal actually. This is also running ELRS, so I can have it attached into my TX16S, and that works a treat as well. So heavy, but it's good fun to fly. It is good fun to fly, but not as fun as this. And this is the new build. For those of you that saw this being built, or even snippets of it, I'm not expecting you to watch the whole thing. It's a long video, it's 3.5 hours long, and honestly, I haven't watched it all the way through. But the idea is that people can reference points and then click to the bits they want to watch and reference that directly if they're stuck at any point. It was my first build and I'm really pleased with it. And there's some excellent things that have happened, including some new designs for the DJI 03. Actually, you haven't seen this, look. For the DJI 03 unit, there's a little holder in here which is combined with the antenna, and then a separate breakout for the dipole antenna, and so on. But yes, this is running a DJI 03 system as well, and ELRS. You can spot the common theme here. So all DJI all the way through. And the reason why I got this DJI camera to stick on here is because it does have a wider field of view. It does have a few things that the O3 system does not, and that's a bit sharper image processing, a slightly better color gamut. It's not as good as the GoPro, but it doesn't really need to be. I'm not making cinematic movies. I'm flying around my back garden. But more importantly, I wanted the audio. So with this camera, with the DJI Action 2, I can't say DJI properly. With the DJI Action 2 camera, you get the audio, which you don't get on the O3. And it annoys me. It annoys me because the hardware, the DJI O3 hardware, in its codecs, it's even listed as being as supporting audio. That support is in the hardware, it's in the software. There's just no mic on it. There's just no mic on it. They couldn't be bothered to put one in. And maybe that's one for a future video, right? Rip it apart and see if there is actually any connection for a little microphone in there, a little ecrit or something. Don't know whether it would work, but it's worth a go. Has someone done that before? I don't know. Let me know. If you know someone that's already done that, let me know. But this allows me to capture the audio, and it has a separate point of reference for me for video. Slightly better image quality, better lens, and so on. So that's the reasoning behind it, and that's what we're going to use moving forward on this channel. Is I'll do some more work on this EOS 5D because it is fantastic quality, as you can see, and then for some of the kind of mincing around the garden and FPV shots, DJI Action 2. I've got to learn how to speak again, and then of course the audio is all going to be coming through this little monkey again, which works a treat. I think, don't you think? I think it works really well. And I got this over the Rode Go wireless because there were so many people complaining about that. It was ridiculous. And I'm kind of in the DJI camp already. So I figured, why not go in full ball? So that's what we've done. And quite frankly, it's an amazing bit of kit. The audio, as you can hear, is fantastic. Right, well that's enough ramblings. I should probably crack on and do something productive with my day, hop on some more meetings and talk to some other people and do some work. That's it, work. Work is what it's called, actual work. More of that. So anyway, my name's Johnny, channel is Will It Mod. Thanks for your time, and I'll catch you all soon. Take care. What I might do as well is just add in a little bit of bonus footage from this. 4 weeks into FPV now, so enjoy. Crashing less, which is good news. Very good news. Hello. Greetings.